Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another video of Be the Best DFS Daily Fantasy Sports Talk. My name is Bradford Best, and today is August 2nd, 2016. And I'm going to go over the FanDuel slate for tonight, give you my lineup thoughts, and try to help everyone win some money tonight. Last night was a good night for me. I put up 144 points, end up cashing for $60. I'm definitely counting it as a blessing. I thank God for blessing me with the skill to just be able to, put together some winning lineups occasionally. But lately I've been doing pretty good, been on a pretty good roll. Last night Kyle Hendricks, he did good for me. Kendrick Morales was a great play for me. He hit a home run. Ryan Schimpf of the San Diego Padres, he did good for me. So all in all, it was a good night. A great start to the new month of August, and hopefully I can keep it going today. Right now it's about 12:43 here in Decatur, Georgia. Have to do my lineup stuff early because if y'all don't know, I work at the Braves games, so I have to be there at 4:30 this afternoon. I'm excited about getting a chance to see Matt Kemp, play for the Braves for the first time tonight. But let's go ahead and get started with this slate. It's a full 15-game slate. A lot of different strategies and ways you can attack this slate. Of course, like y'all know, we always start this off with the pitcher position because on FanDuel, you got to get that pitcher right or you could be in for a long, long night. For tournaments and GPPs, because, that's what I do. My favorite pitcher for tonight, I know a lot of y'all going to disagree with this, but just, listen to my reasons. Lance McCullers for the Houston Astros. His salary price is $9,400. I researched his home splits and road splits. He's a better pitcher at home. He's averaging the third most fantasy points out of all the pitchers on the slate tonight. Let's see. His last game against the New York Yankees, he had 57 fantasy points on July 27th. On July 22nd, against the Angels, he had 63 fantasy points, both being home games. He's coming off back-to-back games with 10 strikeouts, and I just think he's a great play for tournaments tonight. I realize that Toronto is a very, very powerful offense, and, it could be a risky move, with all the power because they can hit home runs in that ballpark. But last night, their offense didn't perform that well. So I'm hoping the same thing continues tonight. And when I just look at my other options, when I consider the price and the matchup, McCullers seems like the best play for me for tournaments. Although I'm scared, like I said, because of Toronto's offense. But, I like McCullers. I'll talk about the other pitchers that you can consider for tournaments tonight and just give you my reasons of why I'm fading them or, why I think you shouldn't play them. Of course, you got Madison Bumgarner, 11,800, playing against the Phillies. Mad Dog, he's great. He's great, but, I just don't want to spend that price, for a pitcher because, it makes it hard for you to build the rest of your lineup when you pay top salary price for a pitcher. Now, if Bumgarner put up points like Duffy did last night, like 80 plus fantasy points, or like Scherzer did early in the season, 90 something fantasy points, and I think Bumgarner he got like an 81 fantasy point at some point in July. If he does that, then yeah, he's worth that price. But I just don't think it's likely he's going to put up 70 plus fantasy points. He may get 50, but I think McCullers can do the same thing at a discounted rate. So Bumgarner, he is a good tournament play if you know how to build the rest of your lineup because his salary price, takes up, a lot of your cap space. But if you can fill out the rest of your lineup, hey, go with Bumgarner. Fernandez, I'm not on him tonight. He's a great pitcher, but on the road against Chicago, I just don't trust him. That's pretty much it. he's great at home, even though his last home game he struggled against the Cardinals. And going up against the Cubs on the road at Wrigley Field at a price tag of 11,000 is just not a move that I'm going to make tonight. Other interesting options at the pitcher position. Jake DeGrom, he's a good pitcher. The Yankees have a struggling offense. He's at home. His price tag is 10,100. Jake DeGrom, he's good, but the problem with me why I didn't want to pick him is because of my confidence in the win security. The Mets, they just have a very, very bad offense. I may be mistaken, but I think Cespedes and Jose Reyes, I think they both out. So that makes their offense even worse. And when I pick a pitcher, I want confidence in that win so I can get the 12 points. And with Tanaka pitching on the other side, he could easily get the win for the Yankees. So I think that's going to be a close game, a pitcher's duel, but I'm not sure who's going to get the win. And at a price tag of 10,100, DeGrom is not someone that I would play tonight. Same thing with David Price. He's just inconsistent. On the road this season, his ERA over 4. He's given up 150 hits and only 143 innings pitched. I wouldn't make that move going with David Price. I think Carrasco, he could be interesting. Salazar got rocked last night, so I wouldn't pick on the Minnesota Twins. I would use caution if I pick Carrasco. Hugh Darvish, I'm not messing with him on the road against a potentially powerful Baltimore offense. If you want to get real sneaky, maybe Jarrett Cole. I know the Braves, and they not really a good offense, I should say. So Jarrett Cole, if you want to consider that, I wouldn't be against that. And earlier in the day, I was thinking about the Tampa Bay pitcher, Anderisi. I think that's how you pronounce his name, but I think that was just a far stretch for me to even consider him. I don't think he's going to have that major of a game. So just to wrap up the pitcher position, McCullers, that's who I'm rolling with. Even though it seems real scary, I'm rolling with McCullers. Another point that I forgot to mention about McCullers, the opposing pitcher on the other side is going to be R.A. Dickey. And R.A. Dickey, he's been struggling lately. And with the knuckleball, he can get rocked. And if the Astros put up some runs tonight at home and score some runs on Dickey early, that'll put McCullers in a great position for the win. And, I'm hoping that he gets 40, 50, or even more fantasy points tonight. Okay, enough on the pitcher position. Moving on to the next position, the catcher position. This is a position for right now. It's still early. I have a preliminary lineup. Right now, I punted at this position, and I have this guy for the Los Angeles Angels, Jett Bandy. I honestly don't know a lot about him, but I see it's a lefty versus righty matchup for Oakland. A left-handed pitcher, Manea, is pitching, and Bandy is a righty. His price tag is $2,200, so I just felt he was a good play to put at if you want to punt at catcher. I'm not even sure if he's going to start today, but if you're not punting, tournament plays for catcher, Buster Posey, at a Citizens Bank Park, favorable to right-handed power, he could be a good option. Wilson Ramos playing at Arizona, another good hitter's park. I don't really like Victor Martinez. Evan Gattis, I think you should always consider him. If you want to be real contrarian, you could pick either one of the Philadelphia Phillies catchers, Rupp or Carlos Ruiz. They both have one career home run against Madison Bumgarner, and a lot of people won't pick either one of them because of the fact Bumgarner pitching tonight. So those could be two good tournament plays. Obviously, Grandal at Coors Field. You want to have some Coors Field exposure. So that's about all I see at catcher. I didn't really want to spend up on this position. I'll get to the positions that I'm spending up on later. So for right now, I think it's a position that I'm going to punt on. I got the catcher from the Angels in Bandy. Moving on to first base, I'm punting again. Right now, I got Mark Teixeira. The interesting thing I see about Mark Teixeira, let me see. He's batting a career 400 with 2 career home runs against Jake DeGrom. I'm not sure what the sample size is. It may be 5 at-bats, maybe 10. I can't remember exactly. But Mark Teixeira, I remember when he played with the Braves back in the day when I was working at the stadium. He had some power. I'm not sure what's going on with him this season, batting 192. I'm not sure what's up with him. But he's a switch hitter, so he'll always be in that righty-lefty matchup. We know he has power. He just hasn't shown it this season. So at 2,200, I'm a punt at first base, which isn't like a popular thing to do, but I'm just trying to be different, and that's what I'm gonna do. So Mark Teixeira is who I got at first base for tournaments right now. I'm punting at that position. But like I said, that's not something that you typically want to do because there's always a lot of good first basemen every night. So if I wasn't punting at first base, I think my top 2 tournament plays for tonight would be Miguel Cabrera and Jose Abreu for the Chicago White Sox. Miggy, he's batting 341 with 2 career home runs against James Shield. And it's a pretty reasonable sample size. Miguel Cabrera at 3,600, I think he's a great play for tournaments at first base. Home run upside, and he has a good hitting average also. And then Jose Abreu, he has an even better history against the pitcher that he's facing tonight, which is, I believe it's Anibal Sanchez. He's batting 571 with 2 career home runs. So at first, at 2,900, that makes him an even better tournament play. I read that Abreu, they gave him the day off on Sunday. The White Sox didn't play yesterday, so he had some chance to rest. He got good history against this pitcher. So Abreu, he's someone who often goes overlooked. Those would be my 2 favorite tournament plays at first base. Miguel Cabrera for the Detroit Tigers and Jose Abreu for the Chicago White Sox. Other players at first base, the known names, they're always good tournament plays because they're great players. David Ortiz, Anthony Rizzo, Edwin Encarnacion, even though I'm not messing with him because I got McCullers. Goldsmith, Will Myers is at a good price, 3,200. Votto playing at home against the Cardinals and Adam Wainwright. Let me look at my research. Votto also has at least one career home run against Adam Wainwright. Albert Pujols, righty versus lefty matchup. The wind is supposed to be blowing out at Angel Stadium. There's definitely a lot of options at first base tonight. Just kind of pick the one that's in the best matchup who you feel most confident about. And in my opinion, that's Miguel Cabrera and Jose Abreu. And now that I'm looking at the player pool again, I think Albert Pujols is a great tournament play at first base. But for me right now, as of now, I'm going to punt at the first base position, and I'm going to use Mark Teixeira. Moving on to the second base position. I didn't really put much thought in this position because they kept this guy priced the same. And as long as they keep his price at 2,700, and as long as he continues to produce, I'm going to keep sticking him in my lineup. Ryan Shrimp of the San Diego Padres, he stepped up big for me last night, 27 fantasy points. And At a price tag of 2,700, I think that's just too low for him. He's a good player. I never heard of him before until like a couple weeks ago, but he's a good player, and that's who I'm sticking in at second base. Um, the 2,700 price tag allows me to spend up at other positions in my lineup. So Ryan Shrimp is likely who I will have in my lineup tonight, as long as no other information come out or I get any other ideas. But at second base, if you don't want to use Shemp, Altuve, always a good play. He one of the best second basemen in the league. He has one career home run against R.A. Dickey. Ian Kinsler, he probably would be my favorite tournament play for tonight at second base if his salary was better. Kinsler, he has 3 career home runs against James Shield. So, with that type of history, that's definitely someone you want to consider. Also, another great tournament play for second base, Jason Kipnis. Career batting average against, who's the pitcher for Minnesota? Sorry, I forgot. Gibson. His career batting average, 538, 1 career home run. Lefty versus righty matchup. Kipnis, another good play at second base. And, if you want that Coors Field exposure, DJ LeMahieu, you could put him in there. And also Dustin Pedroia, if you believe in him. Lefty versus righty matchup, going up against Seattle's pitcher LeBlanc, who's a lefty. Pedroia is a righty. But Shemp is going to be the player I put in. I'm going to stick with him, why his price is low, because I think he's just underpriced, and he definitely has the potential to, put up some nice fantasy points. Lefty versus righty matchup tonight also, and Zach Davies, a righty. Shemp, he bats from the left side of the plate. But again, for second base, just disregarding salaries and all that stuff, the 2 top tournament plays, I think, is Ian Kinsler and Jason Kipnis. I'm going to move on to the third base position. All right, at third base, I'm punching at this position also. I'm put Brett Wallace for the San Diego Padres in at third base. He's 2,300. It's a lefty versus righty matchup, and he has 1 career home run against Zach Davies. Small sample size, 3 at bats, but he's 2 for 3 with 1 home run. Hopefully he starts. I read that he really doesn't get in the starting lineup a lot unless they're in American League Park where he can DH. But hopefully, the manager sticks him in the lineup, because I'm going to punt at third base for now and put Brett Wallace in. But of course, you don't want to hear about punt plays, so let me just tell you about third basemen who I think are viable options for tonight. The top tournament player, you'll have to spend some money for him, but Nolan Arenado at Coors Field, you get that Coors Field exposure. Arenado, that's the top guy at third base. If I ain't have to worry about salaries and trying to fit everybody in my lineup, Arenado would be that guy. He has a good history against McCarthy for the Dodgers. Let's see my research. He's batting 300, 2 career home runs. I believe the sample size is only 10 at bats, but Arenado would be a great play for tournaments tonight. Because he definitely have home run upside and extra base hits, and they're at the hitter's ballpark, the top hitter's ballpark in Coors Field. And let's see. At third base, Justin Turner, for the Dodgers. The game is at Coors Field. So, anytime, there's a game at Coors Field, you want to look at all their players. Chris Bryant, I'm not sure if he will have a good game tonight against Jose Fernandez, because Fernandez is a good pitcher. And I think maybe Jacob Lamb for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I think he would be a good play for tournaments also. A price tag of $3,200. I believe he's a lefty. yeah, lefty versus righty matchup. He's at home, so Jake Lamb would be a good play, at third base for tournaments. And that's about it. I just read on here that Josh Donaldson, he having problems with his hamstring. If he sits out tonight, that's going to give me more confidence in playing Lance McCullers at pitcher. Because Donaldson, I think he's the best bat in their lineup. And with him out, that increases the value for the opposing pitcher, in my opinion. But yeah, that's about it at third base. For now, I'm going to punt with Brett Wallace. Hopefully he's in the starting lineup. But if you're not punting at that position, definitely Nolan Arenado. Put him in your lineup, man. He's a good player. Moving on, the shortstop position. I really didn't even analyze this position much. After I did my research, I just put it in my mind that I'm going to have this player in my lineup no matter what. He's my lock of the day. And he should start, but it's going to be Corey Seager for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Playing at Coors Field, lefty versus righty matchup. But check out his batter versus pitcher statistics. Let me find it. I believe the sample size is 8 at-bats, but he's batting .833 with 1 career home run. I believe that's maybe 7 for 8 with 1 career home run. Seager, price tag $4,400, which is kind of high, but I got him in my lineup tonight. I'm banking on him to get at least 1 home run and get me between 20 and 25 fantasy points. Like I said, I really didn't look at the rest of the options because when I saw that statistic about Seager against John Gray, I was all on him. But as I look at the player pool, Xander Bogaerts, he's a good tournament play, lefty versus righty matchup. Carlos Correa, he's a good tournament play, playing at home. Francisco Lindor, he's also good. Simeon, he would be a good play. Let me check my research. He's batting in career .333 against Shoemaker, one career home run, and Brad Miller for the Tampa Bay Rays, lefty versus righty matchup. He's a good tournament play, and that's about it for shortstop that I see. That's typically a position with where the players don't really have that much power. So that's about all I see. But Corey Seager, he's in my lineup. Lock of the day for me. Hopefully, he has a good game. And moving on to the last position, the outfield. This is where I kind of spent up my money. I'm trying this guy again, Nelson Cruz, at home against Boston, and David Price, lefty versus righty matchup. Cruz, he let me down last night. In all the tournaments that I looked in, he was pretty heavily on. Maybe some people would fade him tonight because of his struggles on last night, but I'm going to stick with him, even though he's going up against David Price. Through my research, last 5 years, Nelson Cruz, he's batting .333 with 1 career home run. I'm at a price tag of $3,500. He's known for hitting left-handed pitching well. I'll just take my chances with him again. Nelson Cruz is who I like at one of my outfield positions. My second outfield position, this is kind of like a contrarian play. A lot of people probably don't think of this guy. Adam Eaton for the Chicago White Sox. In 7 at-bats, he's batting .429 with 2 career home runs against Sanchez of the Tigers. It's a lefty versus righty matchup. And Sanchez, he has really struggled this season. I believe the last game that Sanchez pitched, let me find it. Hold on 1 second. Excuse me. The last game that Anibal Sanchez pitched, it was against the White Sox, and he gave up 10 hits in 6 innings and only got 21 fantasy points. When I read the description for Sanchez, let's see. It says Sanchez has been disastrous as a starter this season, notching a 7.13 ERA and a 1.707 WHIP in 16 starts. But basically, I guess that's just saying that Sanchez isn't really that good of a starting pitcher, and with the history that Eaton has against him, I think he's a great tournament play, because I don't really think too many people are going to consider Adam Eaton. He's not a very well-known name. And if you pair Eaton up with Jose Abreu and maybe a couple other White Sox, I'm not too familiar with all of their team, maybe Melky Cabrera and a fourth White Sox, that could be an interesting stack. But tonight I'm kind of staying away from stacks. I'm just, picking players who I feel are in good spots. In the last outfield position that I like for tonight for tournaments and GPP, I like to pick this guy a lot, Mike Trout. He's widely considered the best outfielder in baseball. Hopefully I can catch him on one of these nights where he have one of his monster games. It's a lefty versus righty matchup. He's at home. They're coming off an off day. I don't believe they played yesterday. The wind is supposed to be blowing out in Angel Stadium. So Mike Trout, that's the guy I'm going with, 4,800. My highest price position player in my lineup. So, that's pretty much how I feel about, attacking the slate today. I'll go over other possible outfield positions you can use at tournaments. Mookie Betts, righty versus lefty matchup, 4,700. I think Springer is a great play. He's batting career 500 against R.A. Dickey, one career home run. Gregory Polanco for the Pittsburgh Pirates, playing against the Braves. Folty, the pitcher for the Braves, he's known for giving up a lot of home runs. And Polanco, he has one career home run against Fulton Nitwich. Can't really pronounce his name, but he's a good tournament play tonight. Charlie Blackmon and Carlos Gonzalez being lefties going up against McCartney at Coors Field. Definitely just, if you want to stack up the Coors Field game, I can see that working because, it's pretty much always runs scored there. But, there's just so many outfielders. If you do your research and look at the matchups properly, you should be able to find the right ones. But just to give you an overview of my lineup, again, it's early in the day. It's shortly after 1 o'clock. I like Lance McCullers at pitcher. I know it's a risky move because Toronto, they're one of the top power offenses in the majors. But if Josh Donaldson is out and if Tulowitzki remains out, and based off of, McCullers' splits at home, I think he's a great tournament play for tonight. And as for my lineup, I don't really have a stack in particular. I kind of punted at a lot of positions at first base and at third base. But I'm looking to get most of my point production from Nelson Cruz in a lefty versus righty matchup. Also Mike Trout in a lefty versus righty matchup at home. And my big time guy for tonight is Corey Seager. Has great history against John Gray playing at Coors Field, lefty versus righty matchup, and I think he has a good game tonight. So that's pretty much how I feel about the lineup for tonight. I want to thank everybody for taking the time out to view this video. Make sure you search hashtag #BeTheBestDFS on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. You can follow the group on Twitter at @BeTheBestDFS. Also, make sure you join the Facebook group. If you like the video and feel that it's helpful and informative, make sure you subscribe. I'll try to post videos as much as I can. If you want to reach out to me, have any questions about the slate or anything of that nature, just hit me up. I'm always willing to interact with people, just trying to improve my skills and get better at this DFS industry, so I can possibly win some money and, make something out of it. But again, thanks again and good luck to everyone. And like I always say, just try to be the best. All right, I'm out.